Here's another tip from Rolling Strong with insights to help you stay healthy on the road.
What's going on, Rolling Strong family? Coach River here once again talking about macronutrients. We are going over the third piece of our three-part series of macronutrients. We already covered proteins and carbohydrates. Today we're going to be talking about fats. So fats is something that everybody loves, and they should, because they're savory and delicious. Unfortunately for us, delicious doesn't always mean nutritious. So on that same note, people are often scared of eating fats in general just because it's something that we diligently work so hard on losing. Now, when it comes to fats, it's the same question we talked about as carbohydrates, good versus bad. And when people ask good versus bad, it's because they're uncertain of what they should be consuming, what they're categorized under in fats, and how much they should be consuming of each. The five main categories of fat is saturated fat, trans fat, monosaturated fatty acids, polyunsaturated fatty acids, and omega-3 fatty acids. And it kind of breaks down to like what you should be eating and consuming at all times. And like, so we have it in front of us here is a couple examples of each, essentially, right? Saturated fats, the ones that we should be consuming, mainly come from meat and animal products or dairy products as well, like cheeses and creams and milks and stuff like that, but mainly from our animal-based product. So most times people kind of lean towards the beef and poultry. Not saying that it's a bad source, right? It's obviously a good source of protein. The leaner the protein, the better. But when it comes to the fattier types, which would be the beef or pork, essentially it's going to have a lot more of that saturated fat that you see. Now, saturated fat does increase HDL, which is the good, right, cholesterol, but it also increases the LDL, which is the bad cholesterol. So we want to monitor how much we kind of consume of this on a daily basis. Falling in that meat category is still the fish, right? This is where we get our omega-3 fatty acids. Fish have a high content of omega-3 fatty acids, which is good for heart health. So it is good to at least consume fish at least once or twice a week to mix it up with our beef and poultry. So trans fats are going to be coming from any kind of fried foods, chocolates, anything that's processed, right? We want to make sure that we stay clear of those items, right? Those are the things that we want to make sure that we're eating the least amount of. Those are the ones that are not beneficial for us at all, and all they do is just increase our risk of heart disease. So trans fats are the ones that we're looking to stay away from completely. Saturated fats are totally okay. Now, which leaves us with the monosaturated and polyunsaturated fatty acids. Basically coming from oils, nuts, and stuff like that. As you can see in the middle, I have like some oils and avocado that should be eaten, obviously, and some pistachios. So all good sources of these monosaturated fatty acids and polyunsaturated fatty acids. When it comes down to how much you should be eating per day, it comes, what they say the general standard is 10 to 15% of your daily caloric intake should be coming from fat, right? Now, obviously, when we say that in regards of we should be getting 10 to 15% coming strictly and hopefully from the saturated fats and omega-3 fatty acids with some of the monosaturated and polyunsaturated fatty acids as well. So, and sticking away from the trans fat. Now, 10 to 15% kind of varies person to person because once again, it goes down to what the person's BMR is, how active that person is, and how high the caloric intake should be for the day. Obviously, the higher the calorie count, the more they're allowed in that percentage. But at the end of the day, we should always monitor and consume as much as we need, right? We're still filling in that barrier of 10 to 15%. So hopefully this helps, guys. It's the last piece. Make sure that you guys are always watching what you're eating. Hopefully all these three parts of the macronutrients were somewhat helpful. And look out for more videos. Thank you.
We're glad to offer these podcasts, and we hope you find them useful. At Rolling Strong, we're here to help.